Hello, everybody. Some old guy with MS here once again. Um, in this video, I want to talk about investing again, but I don't want to talk about investing in the stock market, but I want to talk about Canada. The real estate market has pretty much doubled every 10 years or so since at least the 1950s. I mean, it really is amazing. So real estate in the Lower Mainland is a really good way to invest and to make money. The only problem with real estate, especially today, is it's so expensive. Today, I don't think you could get a house in Vancouver for under $1 million. And it might even be as high as 1.5 million. And townhouses will not be that far behind it. And apartments, a one-bedroom apartment, you're probably looking at, the lowest price would probably be maybe 400,000, maybe 3, but no, I think more like about 400,000. So real estate is out of the reach of lots of people. And that's really unfortunate because that means they can't buy the house or their apartment where they're going to live. And it's really unfortunate because real estate is a great way to invest. One of the reasons it is so great, like say you buy an apartment, say you buy a one-bedroom apartment and you get a good deal and it's 400,000. You could probably get by putting 10% down. So 10% would be 40,000. Now 40,000 is a lot of money, but that means you're financing all the rest. You're financing, 90%, which is huge. You can do something similar to that in the stock market, but it is extremely risky. With real estate, you're pretty much guaranteed, as much as things can be guaranteed, that no matter what happens, there'll always be something left. You'll always get some money back out of it. Like, for example, if you buy a house and it burns down, that's the shits, right? But the land is still there. It's pretty hard to destroy the land. Um, Thinking about it, the only way that could happen is if it got permanently flooded, or you're on the side of a river and it gets washed away, or you live near a volcano and it gets covered in lava. Well, I guess technically it would still be there, but anyway, you get what I mean. You almost always get something out of it, even if disaster strikes. With stocks, you can leverage that out that much, but you don't necessarily get anything out of it if things go to shit. You might lose not just everything, but everything you've leveraged. So I think with stocks, it's extremely risky, and I would not do it. With property, it's pretty much run of the mill. However, if you buy property as an investment, not a home, the banks usually want you to put 25% down. So you're leveraging 75%, which is still an awful lot. But 25% of a $400,000 apartment is still $100,000. That's a lot of money. Most people don't have that. But whether people have it or not, real estate still is a very good investment. I guess that's one reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Real estate in Vancouver might be peaking. Maybe in the next 10 years it won't double. But right now, it looks like things are going the same as ever. Many, many years ago, probably 10 years ago, no, probably about 2000, so it's almost 20 years ago. Well, it is 20 years ago. I wanted to invest in something, and everything was way, way too expensive. But I noticed that in downtown Vancouver, there were some office spaces for sale. And they were quite cheap. I ended up buying one for around 60,000, and we had to do some juggling and refinancing of other property to free up 60,000 to buy this small office. But I did, and we hung on to it for um, probably 15 years. Yeah, around 15 years. And I had it rented. There was one parking spot that my wife and I used because I used to work right downtown. And then when I retired, I started renting the parking space out. So we didn't make a huge amount of money on rent, but we did make some. Um, but now we're getting to what I really want to talk about in this kind of investing, and that is negotiating. Believe it or not, when you sell a property, you are negotiating with potential buyers. And there is an art to it. I'm not claiming I understand the art completely, but my way of negotiating has worked at least 3 times. So let me explain it to you. When I was selling the office, believe it or not, I was selling it for 230,000, which was actually pretty reasonable. Um, Myself and the real estate agent, when we were pricing it to sell it, we were very, very competitive. We looked at other things for sale in the same building, same area, and figured out what I thought anyway was a quite reasonable price. So it's advertised for sale for 230,000. Well, the first offer I got was for, I forget what it was. It's either 90,000 or 100,000. Well, let's say 100,000. Well, I'm asking 230. 100,000 is less than half. I mean, it's an insult. So I said to the real estate agent, I'm not even going to reply because that's an insult. And the real estate agent, he says to me, no, you should reply. You should counter at something. And I'm like, why? He insulted me. And the real estate agent said, when you're selling something, it's similar to fishing. You throw your line out, or you throw your ad out, and you wait for a strike. When someone makes an offer, no matter what it is, that's a strike. And from strikes comes sales. So you don't want to ever throw away a strike. So I says, well, I think that offer was insulting. And he says, well, maybe it was, but don't let your ego get involved. You want to sell it, counter what they offered. So I said, okay. I said, counter at 229,000. And he's like, you're only coming down 1,000? And I said, yes. And he goes, okay. But why so little? Why? So I says, okay. I think for several reasons. Number one, coming down anything, I think, shows I am willing to negotiate. Coming down 1,000 shows that I think the price I am asking is reasonable, and I am willing to come down a bit, but nothing ridiculous. And so my real estate agent goes, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'll counter at 229. So he did. And I don't know, I think they went up to 110 or something like. Again, something ridiculous. And he says, well, they're still sniffing around. He says, but, we don't want to play this game forever. He says, tell me what your bottom line is, your bottom price, and I'll give it to him. I won't make a written offer. I'll tell him, look, this is what he wants. He's not going to go any lower. So I said, okay. So I said, well, my lowest price, it says, what would you say? What would you make it? And he goes, well, about 210, maybe 215. And I says, well, I want more than that. I think we priced it quite reasonably to begin with. So tell them that my bottom price is 225. He did. And lo and behold, they accepted. So when you're selling something, you don't always need to jump at the lowest price. I sold another property in Kelowna, and it was almost the same sort of deal. I mean, the thing is this, right? I understand what they're doing. They're lowballing. If I was buying a place, I do the same thing. You lowball to see if they're desperate to sell. When I counter at almost the same price, I'm letting them know I'm not desperate to sell. The one in Kelowna, I forget what I sold it for, but we got to a point where we were like 20,000 apart. And my real estate agent says, it's a different agent. It was a woman this time, very nice lady, and we're apart 20,000. And she says to me, well, why don't we split the difference? If you're in a position where you must sell or want to sell, splitting the difference might be a good idea. But don't get in a position where you're thinking, oh, yeah, it's not that much money. Okay, we'll split the difference. You don't have to. The one offering to buy it, that's one person out of how many that might buy it, you know? So I said to my real estate agent, no, I'm not going to split the difference. This is what I want. If they don't want to pay it, they don't want the property. And again, they came up and they bought the place. Um, myself and my wife, we sold stuff on Craigslist. I had a whole bunch. I had like probably 20 of these everywhere tables. You could buy them from Costco for $60. And, you know, I got like this. So my wife's selling them. Actually, my stepdaughter was selling them, and she's selling them for, you know, $30. My wife gets the money and she goes, oh, I made $30. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You lost $30. And she goes, well, you know, my wife, right? She goes, no, you lost $30. I made $30. So I says, well, in that case, I didn't lose 30. I lost 60. But anyway, so my stepdaughter sold, you know, over half. So there's like 10 left. And someone had bought the previous table, some of the previous tables. He says to her, look, I'll buy the rest of them, but at half price, $15 each. And she asked me, do you want to take it? My answer, hell no. That's a good deal. Getting them for 30. It's already half price. They're everywhere tables. They're never gonna, they'll last forever, basically. And I said, no, don't sell them for $15. The price is 30. And if he doesn't want to pay that, he doesn't want them. So she went back and talked to him and said, no, it's $30. And you know what? He bought them because he knew he was getting a good deal. So the point is this: just because someone counters or they say, well, let's split the difference, it doesn't mean you have to. So that's kind of like hard negotiating. But that's what you got to do. When you're selling stuff, don't get pushed around. Decide on a fair price and stick as close to it as you can. I've done quite well with real estate for two reasons. It allows you to leverage an awful lot. Vancouver has been a hot market for my entire life. And I pretty much stick to what I'm asking for. You got to have some wiggle room. But don't give the farm away. Anyway, some personal advice on investing in and selling real estate. Oh yeah, the other thing is your real estate agent. They'll make suggestions. They'll say, yeah, you should split the difference. You should try and. But the thing is this: they are working for you. They want to sell the place as quickly as possible so they can get a commission and move on to the next. With a real estate agent, like if you sell a place for 225 or 200, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference to their commission. So they just want to sell it as quickly as possible, which is fair, but it's up to you to look out for yourself. Anyway, that's my thoughts on investing in real estate and selling properties. Next week, we'll get back to the stock market. I hope it's gone up. Anyway, let's see. Oh yes, as always, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. I like comments. Um, you can make suggestions for topics on investing. And I'll let you know my thoughts. Let's see. Oh, yes. And on top of all of that, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm just telling you what I do or what I have done. And my success rates, which have been pretty good. Um, yeah, so subscribe, like, share, comment. I like comments. Anyway, I think that will be it. Um, talk to you all again next week. Stop listening. Oh, wait a minute. See, I haven't done this for so long. I forget what I say. Oh, not stop listening. End communication. Okay, this is not for you. Start listening. Mouse grid. 8, 8, 1. Click. Okay, ending transmission. Mouse grid. 8, 3, 3. Click. Bye bye.